beautiful people. Greetings from Gilead and welcome to day 10 of Mindful December. Today we're going to talk about breath work. Again, why? Because you can never get enough of breath work, and breathing is super important. So it's good to know a few techniques and always just remind yourself that we can find ways to slow down the breath, make it deeper, make it nicer, and just be more mindful of that. And it's such an amazing tool to give us this instant grounding. We feel like something is going on in our lives, that we feel like we're all over the place. What we can do, boom, breathing. You go within and you can feel instantly grounded. And the thing is that we probably all know, like just sitting in a cross-leg and doing meditation and observing that breath in and out. It can be boring, especially at the beginning, so that's why we're going to talk about it, because there are ways to make it a little bit more interesting. Last week, I don't know if you've watched the video or if you remember, we did square or box breathing. And technique that we're going to do today, it's coming from like yogic tradition. But it's really nice, and the only techniques that I'm showing here is the ones that I really like and the ones that they work for me. So like I speak like from the heart when I show them and I talk about them. So the name of the technique we're going to do today, it's Nadi Shodana. It's just like an alternate nostril breathing. And why it's great? Because it kind of, first of all, like just restores balance and calms the body and mind. When it comes to benefits, I think it's more or less the same stuff that all other breath work has. The great benefits for our body and mind, like reducing stress and anxiety, and it helps to lower the heart rate, and helps with like the lungs capacity and just like in function in general. So basically, all the good stuff that we all want and need in our lives. And it's just like I said, instant grounding, and it's something that is available right away. It's not complicated, and you can do it anywhere, basically. So it's pretty straightforward. First of all, I'm gonna use my right hand because I'm right-handed. So if you're lefty, use the left hand. And so, like as the name suggests, alternate nostrils. So we're going to have to do something with our nostrils. So we're going to be using two fingers to help us with this technique. And what we use in this tradition is the thumb and the ring finger. So what we're going to do is take the index and middle finger and just fold them and place them at the root of your thumb, but like not pressing down. Like relax those fingers. Nothing is tensing up there. So just allowing them gently to rest at the bottom, on the root of your thumb. In some traditions, they will tell you to place them like in between the eyes. If that's comfortable for you, please go ahead. There are many ways to do it, so I'm just showing my way of doing it, or the ones that I chose to follow. Okay, so I have the thumb ready, the two fingers resting at the root of the thumb, the ring finger, and the little one is just taking a break in this whole experience. So first what I'm going to do is, using the thumb from the right side, I'm just going to close the right nostril and then take an inhale through the left nostril. And then I'm going to close it. So I'm closing both nostrils and then exhaling through the right. Inhaling again through the right nostril and closing that with the thumb, exhaling through the left. Again, inhaling through the left, closing, exhaling through the right. So that's just kind of, we're making that loop. So we're breathing out and then in from that side and just going on and on like that. So that is the first step, and it might take some time to kind of get a hang of that, but it's, as I said, I think it's pretty straightforward when it comes to this part, but it's get a little bit more, not tricky, but more interesting, I would like to say, because for me, if I just had to do that, that would be, like not very engaging. And the most benefits from this technique is when we when we introduce a ratio, and by that I mean that we are going to control how much we are breathing in, how long, for how long we're holding the breath, and for how long we are exhaling. So this way we're actually, holding it for longer, increasing that lung capacity, and just being very focused. So how I like to call it, it's like a yoga for the brain, because you kind of need to be aware of what is going on. So the ratio for this practice is 1:4:2, and let me just explain, because it's again still very straightforward. So it's a ratio, so this is just the number of counts that you can multiply. So we are taking the breath in for 1, and then we're holding the breath for 4 and exhaling for 2. And by that, I don't mean that, you breathe in for just 1. It means that, for example, if my inhalation is, let's just say, 1, 2, 3, 4. So if I'm breathing in for a count of 4, that's my ratio of 1. So then I'm going to hold the breath for a ratio of 4. So if I'm counting until number 4, my holding is 16 and my exhale is 8. God, I hope it makes sense what I said, because I just heard it in my head and I feel like I'm making it more complicated than it should be. So let's try one more time. Let's say that after a few times I feel more relaxed and I can actually take that breath in for longer, and I'm breathing in for a count of 5. So my holding of breath will be 20 and my exhalation will be for 10. Okay. Write me in the comments if that's not clear. So again, the ratio is 1:4:2. Just a quick demo of that. So I'm just gonna again take a deep breath in, relax those shoulders, and then place the right thumb on my nostril and start with the left nostril. Take an inhale, counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then I'm gonna close, holding it for, let's say, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 20, and then exhale all the way up to 10. And then again, inhale for 5, hold it, count for 20, exhale for 10. So we're making the same loop, but now we are lengthening that breath. And through that, we are first of all relaxing ourselves, allowing those breaths to be longer, and through holding it for 4 times more, we are actually, increasing that lung capacity. And when we are exhaling twice longer than inhaling, we really make sure that we remove all the air from the bottom of the lungs. Sometimes they say that there's like this part at the bottom that there's always like residing some air that is never kind of moved around. So through that kind of techniques, you can just remove of that and invite fresh air into your lungs. And obviously that is just, good for the whole body in general, not to get into too much like science and details. So this technique is great because not only it, like I said, it like calms the body and mind in a sense, that deep, calm breathing has this amazing effect on us, but it also, you have to be really focused. You cannot be doing those counts and be planning your dinner or whatever is that you feel like occupies your mind. You kind of have to be there during this practice, and that's why it's such a, like I said, instant grounding, and it's a beautiful technique. And actually, you might be surprised how quickly you might increase your lung capacity through this practice. It's fantastic how quickly you will notice that you are improving. And I remember that how it's just my breathing became more slow and deep, kind of naturally through practicing yoga. I don't even know when or how. I was not intending to do it. It just happened naturally. And then one day I noticed, like, wow, that breath is slower, that breath is deeper, more belly. And this is just like, this is what we want. We want that because that is just a sign that we are in that more relaxed state, instead of just like always in this fight or flight mode that we need to be like, fighting for survival. That happens very often in this world these days we're living in. And I remember from my yogi training back in India, our teacher always were saying that he was referring to our breathing back to the nature. He was always saying, like, look at the dogs, you know, they're breathing so quickly. They even have like, well, up to 30 breaths per minute, and then, well, they live 10 years, more or less. And then look at the turtle. It breathes so slowly. It's like 4 breaths per minute or something like that. And they live like, well, up to 150 years. So be like the turtle, you know. It's like slower breathing equals longer life. Just basically, let's to sum up it this way. So yeah, breathing techniques are like, there's so many of them, and it's if it's something that resonates with you, you can stick to it, but you can also just explore the internet. There are so many tutorials out there on YouTube, and just, you know, Wim Hof and all of that, tons of great breathwork stuff. These are just like the basic few ones that they resonate with me, and they might with you. And also, I would like to remind you that not necessarily only this video, but in any of the videos that you watched, and there's something that you feel like, oh, there is value in it, and there's something interesting, and if you notice that, please don't keep it only to yourself. Share it with someone else. Tell them that, show them that breathing technique, show them some Qigong moves, tell them about mindful listening, whatever it is that got your attention. The more people know about it, the better. And also, it's just like you might notice that there is someone around your life that might need some sort of uplifting or some sort of grounding, and you can be that person facilitating that. You're watching it is only just like, I think, first step. Then you can take that and then move it forward, and that's how we are going to make this world a better place, if we're just gonna all collaborate and finding all kinds of other ways to help each other. And on that note, I'm not sure if you're aware, but I'm teaching yoga online each weekend. And I don't know if this sparkling personality works for you. Why not joining me as well on Zoom class, when there will be way more of me. We're gonna have a lot of fun and just allowing ourselves to move the bodies, and obviously with breath, and just not letting the lockdown or your current situation take you down, and just, you know, being conscious of your choices. Okay, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you tomorrow, where we'll be practicing more Qigong. Thank you.